Good afternoon and welcome in to year number 3 of West Aurora Spring Sports here on Stream Sports Midwest. Alongside my partner Mike Napolitano, my name is Aaron Schellen, and today we've got badminton for you. The West Aurora Blackhawks taking on Plainfield Central. And Mike, welcome to your first West Aurora broadcast.
Thank you. I'm excited. I know very little beforehand about badminton, so I'm excited to learn more as we go, and also did some research of my own today.
Good research is a good thing. So it'll be the Blackhawks and Plainfield Central as all the teams are starting to get loose and warm here, and we're going to start with the doubles matches. So bear with us if we butcher any names. We're doing the best with what we have. So the court is broken down. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4 from our right to our left. So court 1 is all the way to our right, followed by court 2, court 3, and then court 4 is all the way to our left. There are 5 doubles matches scheduled, so number 5 will start as soon as one of the courts free up. And the matches break down like this. The first pairing, let me get my rosters up here. First pairing for West Aurora will be Zoe Arsenault and Megan Tierney down here to our right, and they will be facing off against Ren Ferguson and Grace Rushinsky. On court 2, it'll be Julia Kanigi and Ava Obrochta against Alexis Listerman and Jennifer Oseguera. Then over on court 3, we've got Denise Tellez and Abby Whitlock, and they're facing off against Ava Butusov and Allison Botsam. And then on court 4, my roster just vanished on me. Court 4 is going to be Lakular La and Hannah Patel for the Blackhawks, and for Plainfield Central, Riley Listerman and Arlen Lopez. And then on the 5th pairing, I guess, if you will, that'll start as soon as one of the first 4 matches is done. That'll be Caroline Escobedo and Natalie Jarrell against Aaliyah DeShazer and Tiffany Radiker. So those are our matches, and then as soon as those matches end, we'll switch over to the singles matches, and then those matches will filter in as the doubles matches finish up. So we'll be able to tell you who's on what court when that actually happens. So it looks like 3 of the 4 matches are underway. So let's hop over to court number 1 here. Plainfield Central with the initial serve. Volley off the bat, and there's a nice little drop shot for West as they pick up the early point. This is Arsenault and Tierney against Ferguson and Rushinsky.
Serving to the opposite side there, like you would in tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And picking up another point, so they'll switch sides and serve once more.
Yeah, you said that you did some research, and this is very similar to the sport of tennis, of course, in terms of your ins and outs and a lot of the terminology. But there's 3 quick points for West here off the bat, so they will be running scores up to us. We'll be able to give you final scores and stuff as we go through the event. But there's a point for Plainfield Central. And they will take over service. You'd be surprised that there's another point for West. You'd be surprised how many of these birdies they go through in a particular match. I never really thought about it, but they get absolutely torched during these matches with how hard they're being hit. They fall apart pretty quickly. You'll see by the end of the night, you'll see pieces of birdie all over the court.
Well, these are plastic with a sort of foam/cork that make up the rubber tip on the end there. But the original birdie that I looked up today,
history lesson. I love
history lesson, was made of pure cork, like you would have for a wine bottle, with 16 left-sided bird feathers. And the reason they used left-sided was because the right side bird feathers are angled a different direction, so it would spin clockwise, and they wanted the flight of the shuttlecock to spin counterclockwise.
Interesting.
So there is a way to make it still spin if you were using one of those clockwise, but it's just much harder to do.
I didn't think I was going to learn something today, but I love it.
I didn't know anything about that, but even those would get destroyed, as you mentioned, like these plastic ones by the end of the day.
Let's pan on over to doubles match 2 here, Mike, and take a look at Julia Knigge and Ava Abrukta against Alexis Listerman and Jennifer Oseguera. Here on court 2, West Aurora, Plainfield Central. We got the varsity matches going on here in front of us as there's a point for West, and then over on the far side of the court, those are the JV matches going on. You can probably see them in the background. We got a busy week here at West Aurora this week, Mike. We've got badminton today. We're scheduled to do boys volleyball here tomorrow night, and then Thursday we've got our first baseball game.
You and I were just talking before the broadcast that we were brutally teased with that 70-degree weather.
I know,
and then this week it's set to drop down into the 30s. So the indoor sports like badminton and volleyball will be greatly appreciated by the extremities. And then the outdoor baseball game, we're crossing those extremities, crossing the fingers to make sure that we get that one in.
Yeah, man. It's been 65, 70 degrees for the last month. We couldn't fit a baseball game in, right? I mean, we got to do it now when it's 40, but it's okay. Love of the game and all that, right?
Absolutely. Let's just hope the sun is shining. There's no rain.
Yeah,
or snow at that point.
Yeah, you can deal with the temperatures as long as it's not. I was out doing a lacrosse game this past weekend, and on Saturday, and there were, it was in the mid-50s, but there were about 25-mile-an-hour winds, and that was absolutely brutal. It was a cold afternoon, so. But yeah, be a busy week. We got about 3 games this week. We got a couple next week on the books. So weather permitting, we'll get a fair chunk of West Spring events in here before the middle of May starts. I know we've got softball on the books next week as well. Hoping to get soccer in at some point too. We did a couple of soccer games last year, so there's another point for West. Let's hop on over to court 3. Let's give Denise Tellez and Abby Whitlock some love for West Aurora. Ooh, here's a smash, a point for West. They're facing here Ava Butusov and Allison Botsam for Plainfield Central.
As you mentioned, that one just drops in the forecourt there. Nice spike-esque move there to drop that one in for a point.
Yeah, you really, that hand-eye coordination is got to be on point, because the initial reaction with how hard, you're swinging the racket on the other end, like the initial reaction is to kind of cringe out of the way, and it looks like set 1 is already done on court 2. It looks like West picked up the victory on court 2 already, at least in set 1. So as they go over to their coach to plug in the score. One of the things you and I were talking about before the game is the match is the honor system, right? Yeah. There are no judges on any of these courts. It's truly an honor system for the players out there to judge whether the birdie was in or out and what the final score was, and you just don't see that a lot in sports. So it's interesting to see it here.
Yeah, it really promotes good sportsmanship too, because you've got others relying upon you to, of course, report the right score, and also no cheating involved.
No cheating indeed. So again, this is court 3, Denise Tellez and Abby Whitlock against Butusov and Botsam. West with the serve. And I don't think that landed in front. I think that landed, it did not land beyond that first gray line down there. So serve will go over to Plainfield Central.
Yeah, the serve, like tennis, has to make it past this forecourt and into the opposite box that the opposing players are standing in. So
yeah, a lot of similarities. Obviously here you've got your server up front rather than in the back like you have in tennis, but obviously a ton of similarities. It's a very similar sport. Did you ever play it?
Tennis?
No, badminton.
Badminton in gym class, yes.
Okay.
For fun, messing around, but I would actually like to get a game going. It does seem exciting out here.
Yeah, it looks fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can let some aggression off with some of those swings and not worry about hurting somebody.
I've played more tennis in my time, and that's not even saying a whole lot. And this is definitely less stressful to me just looking at it, and I appreciate that. I don't want to run all over the place unless I really absolutely have to.
No, I played. I had one of these sets in my backyard when I was a kid. So there was some summer backyard badminton, which was always fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop on over to court 4 now. Let's take a look and see what's going on down over here. The Slakular La and Hannah Patel for West Aurora against Riley Listerman and Arlena Lopez for Plainfield Central.
West wins that one. They get to serve. That was a drive of a shot.
And let's see, there you go. And are we going to get? Ooh, see, they're talking about it. Look at they're discussing it. That's what it looked like to me, and they're talking about it. And I think that's going to be a point for. Well, it's a point, and that's the end of the set. So depending on whether they're saying that one was in or out, that will. I'm not sure who that match went to in that particular case, but from our angle, that looked like it
went to West.
Yeah, that's what I think too. So we'll see what happens. Again, they're going to send a runner up to us with scores periodically, so that we have an idea of what those scores look like. So while this one is in between, let's hop back over to court 1. See what's going on down over here. Absolutely. With Zoe Arsenault and Megan Tierney for West. And just as soon as we say that, perfect timing, we see, was that a West victory?
I believe so. Looks like they're the ones going over to report the scores, so I would imagine they're taking the victory on that one. I did not see who gave that last serve. I know we had the camera over there, but...
Well, you can see the Plainfield Central players got their sticks up. They're waiting for their coach to come over so they can announce the score of that one. So, all right, let's switch over to court 2 then and see what's going on down here with Julia Carnegie and Eva Abrokta. Again, they won the first set pretty quickly, actually. The first set only took about 10 minutes for the two of them.
A couple of nice drop shots it looked there, but one lands on the Plainfield Wildcats side. Wildcats mostly in their forest green shirts today. They almost look like tank tops. I'm not sure if those black sleeves are an undergarment.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think it might be part of the shirt.
I think they are.
I think they might be.
It's a pretty cool uniform.
You know, the thing I like about the Plainfield school system, and when I first moved out here to Chicago, I moved to Plainfield. Coming from the East Coast, moved to Plainfield. And back then there was only one school. It was just Plainfield.
Right.
And having been a part of West Aurora basketball now for a few years, I've been to all of the different Plainfield high schools. And they were all built by the same company. So they're all set up exactly the same. So if you know how to get around one of the schools, you can get around all of them. It's just weird because they're all different colors.
Gotcha.
Because they match the team's colors. So it's just interesting to go from one to another and get that sense of deja vu, but have completely different colors and go, no, I've never actually been in this school before, but I know where to go because I've been at a different one.
I don't know of too many places that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
In my high school tenure playing Schaumburg soccer and baseball, every place we went to was different. I would imagine the Glenbards have some similarities. There's so many of those.
Yeah, that's true.
And I never remember which one is which, admittedly. But I remember playing at each one of them, as you mentioned, spring baseball, always cold.
Always cold.
That's what stuck out to me most.
Always cold.
But I don't know about any similar architecture structures.
Yeah, I mean, remember, most of those Plainfield schools were all built within, a handful of years of each other, right? All within about 5 or 6 years of each other. So looks like a point there for West. And so we've got court 1 is Arsenault and Tierney, which has just started up again. This is, I think, set 2. We believe they won the first set. We'll know pretty quickly with a lot of these matches once these second sets end. If they go to a third set, we know where we stand. If they don't go to a third set, we know who wins.
A couple of really nice volleys there. West getting the point on both of those opportunities.
I think we're getting our first runner of the match. I see somebody coming up. I love it. We'll take a picture of what she sends us, and we'll give you an update. We do have a runner. We do have scores. So officially, set 1 went to Zoe Arsenault and Megan Tierney, 21-18. On court 2, Julia Kanigi and Ava Obrochta won 21-12. And then set 3 was a 21-14 win for Denise Tellez and Abby Whitlock. So good start for the Blackhawks here so far.
That one looked like it just wrapped up as we are on court 3 now. So they're just getting set to start that second set.
So that means set number, well, it also, I think court 4 is also done because they've switched sides.
Did we not get a score for that one?
We haven't gotten a score for that one yet, but that's fine. It'll come. But we do know that West is up in all 3 of courts 1, 2, and 3 so far. Ooh, there's a nice shot right down the middle, right down the pipe. Again, another tennis similarity for the doubles matches. You've got the extra space along the sides and the backs. The courts are a little bit bigger. When we go to singles matches, it'll be those inside lines on both the sides and the back.
Yeah, those are the back alleys and the alleys that Aaron is mentioning that are used for doubles rather than singles matches.
I love how you're dropping the actual technical terms.
I don't know if they're called alleys in tennis.
I've never heard that. I've never heard
here.
that called before. There's another point for West here in court 3. So Tellez and Whitlock looking pretty good for West on court 3. We'll watch another point and then switch on over to court 4. And it looks like the shot was missed, but I don't think it made that front line. So it'll be a point for Plainfield Central. Now we'll hop over to Lakular La and Hannah Patel for West. Like I said, I believe they're up in their match as well, but we don't have a score for that first match as of yet. It'll be a Plainfield Central serve. And that stayed in. Maybe a bit of miscommunication, or maybe they thought it was going to land on the left side of the line rather than the right side, but there's a point for Plainfield Central. What a good rally.
Oh, just missed on that one. So West will take the point, but as you mentioned, yeah, very good rally on this fourth court here. That one hit the top of the net.
Yeah, it is. You don't see that very often.
And they're still rallying here, so.
Oh, there's another point for West.
A couple of nice back and forth opportunities over here on this fourth court.
So again, as soon as one of these matches comes to an end, we'll switch over to the 5th doubles set, which is Caroline Escobedo and Natalie Jarrell. There's a point for Plainfield Central. And let's hop on over to court number 1, Mike, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right, Zoe Arsenault, Megan Tierney, they won their first set 21-18. They're looking for the straight set victory, and there's a point for West. So we've got 10 singles matches after this, and those will all just sort of filter in as courts and players become available. Another point for West. Spent a lot of time in this gym over the years, and I didn't go to this school. That's the crazy thing. I have absolutely no connection to West Aurora outside of their athletics department, having been a part of the basketball, the boys and girls basketball broadcast for the last 4 or 5 years with Neil and Rick, two West Aurora greats. Between the two of them, Mike, I told you a little bit about Neil before the game. Neil has been really a part of West Aurora going back 6 decades at this point or whatever, and Rick is at about 5.5 decades. It's funny. We like to joke that when the three of us are on the air together, we have about 110 years of experience between the three of us, with me having 4 and the two of them compiling the rest of that.
Wow, yeah. They've asked you to do just about everything in here except for change the floorboards, huh?
Yeah, which I would do if they asked me nicely. No, I like being a part of West Aurora. Athletic Director Jason Buckley is a fantastic human being, and I like being able to come out here and provide support to some of the athletic programs and teams that maybe don't get the same I don't want to say push, because they've all got fans, right? I mean, they've got families and and friends and stuff that all want to be a part of it, but maybe that don't have the same visibility as some of the more pronounced sports, football and basketball and things like that. So I love being a part of this, and this is fun for me. And there's another point for West. So Arsenault and Tierney racking up the points down here on court number 1, Mike.
We've seen a couple of really nice what they call kill shots in this sport of badminton, which would be in most other sports, especially like volleyball, a spike, which is an offensive, basically a shot that immediately goes to the ground on the other side and gets you a point. So really nice tactics by West on that first court right down there.
We'll watch another point or so here on this court, and there's another point for West.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch on over to court 2. Let's leave Zoe and Megan to it. Come back over to Julia Knigge and Ava Obrochta. They won set 1, 21-12. That was a really quick first set for Julia and Ava.
It was funny there. West did not win the point, but they're having fun out there because they just kind of high-fived with their rackets. And, you see that a little bit, but not with the excitement to that level that they had just there. So they're still in it and in a nice volley right here.
It's a fun game. How can you not have fun playing this game?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's intended to have fun. I mean, all sports, technically, you're supposed to have fun. This is a really nice rally, and just as I say that, West puts it into the net. But yeah, this is one of those games that you just go out there and it's just chill. Just chill, man, right? Just go out there and whack the birdie around, and there's a couple of points for Plainfield Central, and I think that's going to be the set.
Plainfield may have taken that one.
I think they did. So they're going to switch sides, and they're going to play a set 3. So let's switch over to court 3 now, Mike. Look at Denise and Abby. They won 21-14 in their first set. And they pick up a point just as soon. I think we might be done on court 4, and I think we might be done on court 3. Because right now there is no match going on court 4, which was Lakular Law and Hannah Patel. I think that one might be over unless they're just taking a break. But I believe Denise Telez and Abby Whitlock just defeated Batusov and Botsam on court 3. We'll see if they come back out or if a new pairing joins one of these. Oh, we got more scores. All right, so we do have some confirmation. So Lakular La and Hannah Patel won their match in straight sets, 21-11, 21-11.
Wow.
So a couple of quick matches there on court 4. So now court 5 will be Caroline Escobedo and Natalie Jarrell against DeShazer and Radiker on court 4. But right now, we don't have anything going on court 4, anything going on in court 3, anything going on in court 1. So we're going to go to court 2, and we will watch Julia Knigge and Ava Obrochta in set 3. And then as they bring out the singles matches, we will tell you who's on what court once they start giving us that information. So it looks like a pretty good start for West here. I think they won all 3 of those matches in straight sets. We'll get well, we know they won in straight sets because none of the matches are going on, and West won set 1. So,
Exactly.
so they did win straight sets on courts 1, 3, and 4.
May be going for a third set here on court 2.
Yeah, I believe they are. I think set 2 on court 2 went to Alexis Listerman and Jennifer Oseguera.
So they're getting started here to begin set 3.
Mm-hmm. And they're warming up on court 4, the doubles match. So once that starts, we'll go head over there and take a look at that match. Got set 3 here on court 2, and that'll be a point for West.
Once again, between these two, some really nice volleys. Had a lot of those high shots to send it to the other side, which are
I feel
more
like
of a defensive tactic.
I mean, I feel like though in badminton, those high kind of arcing shots are more. When you do that in tennis, it's more of a self-defense mechanism. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's you're just trying to get the ball. You're just trying to get the ball up in the air and just protect yourself and get back defensively. I think it's used more strategically here because it's not coming at you as quickly.
Right. Those are mostly referred to as clears in badminton. As you see, that one was more of a drive.
So you've got your clears, you've got your drives, you've got your drop shots, you got your spikes.
Spikes are typically referred to as either
kills. Okay, kill shot. Okay,
smash.
Well, that's fair. I like the term smash.
And a lot of that comes from the fact that unlike tennis, you really have to get over the birdie.
Right, that makes sense.
To get this to go down, rather as a tennis ball, you can drill it with some speed at more of a horizontal angle and still make it drop due to the spin.
That shot goes wide, so that'll be a point for Plainfield Central. So we should start to see some of the singles matches starting soon, and they'll get us the pairings, or at least we know the pairings. They'll get us some of the court assignments, if you will. It'll be a West serve here. Looking for the, I guess, clean sweep of the first 4 matches. 3 of the first 4 went straight sets, all to West.
And a
miss there right along the sideline, and okay. So they're going to say that it landed out, and that's kind of where that. So you can miss it and it landed out, and you ended up okay. So it looks like we are going to have a singles match start down here to our right in a moment. We'll get you some. Oh, we've got some updates.
Typically, a serve is a flick shot. You could also use it not on a serve if you just want to flick it over the net. Typically, that's the front person right there.
All right, some more score updates. So confirmed 3 of the 4 matches went straight sets for West. On court 1, Zoe Arsenault and Megan Tierney, 21-18, 2012. On court 3, Denise Tellez and Abby Whitlock, 21-14, 21-10. We gave you the Lacular La Hannah Patel, 21-11, 21-11. And then this match here on court 2 was 21-12 for Julia Kanigi and Eva Obrochta. And in set 2, it was 23-21 for Plainfield Central. So it went bonus time, if you will. And now we've got a couple of singles matches going on as Abby Whitlock is over on court 1 taking on Delilah Cantillo. And the other match that's getting ready to get started is on court 3. And they're getting warmed up. That's Hannah Patel and Sydney Jackson. So let's spend a little time watching court 2 here in this doubles match that's finishing up. There's a shot into the nets. There's a point for West. West will serve. The other thing I like about this sport as a father of young kids is that shot goes out of bounds. As a father of young kids who are just starting to get into athletics, this isn't an expensive sport to get your kids into.
That's true too.
I got one kid who's playing baseball, and you know, when I played in Little League, they provided your helmets and everything else. That's not so much the case now. So I start buying all that stuff for my kid. My other one wants to play basketball, which isn't too bad. But yeah, this doesn't strike me as a game that requires a lot of expensive equipment. I mean, obviously there are probably rackets that are better than others and things of that nature. But generally speaking, I get my kids into badminton.
Yeah, and as you said, for kids starting out in athletics, you don't need the highest end quality rackets or anything. Just something that they can go out and play and learn the sport. And
yep.
That's something that I think is really valuable at that level, and just learning about badminton can open up doors into many other sports, as we've already referenced volleyball and tennis.
Well, and not just that. I mean, it teaches you how to prepare mentally and physically for a sport, and so there's more to it than just the how do I play the game. It's learning how to play a sport and be part of a team and things of that nature. So, all right, we're going to take a break here. Let's hop over to court 4, and we'll give Caroline and Natalie. They're still warming up. I take that back. We're not going to look at that one because they're still warming up. Let's go back to court 2. I didn't realize they were still warming up over here. We'll watch Julia and Ava try to finish things up here in set 3 and give West a clean sweep of the doubles matches. Shot's going to go long and wide.
Well, clean sweep of the first 4, of course.
Right, yes, that's right. There's the 5th match getting ready to get started.
But then we'll give some love to the singles matches right after the doubles kind of expire, or at least get down to this last 5th one.
So we've got 10 singles matches. And only 4, as there's a point for Plainfield Central. Only 4 courts, so obviously some players will get an opportunity to get a breather here in between games. Shots missed. There's a point for West. You got to think this one's starting to come to a conclusion. We've seen 9 or 10 points while we've just been sitting here watching it. So you got to think we're getting close to seeing the end of this match. There's another point for West.
You never know. Considering they've gone to a 3rd set, this may be a back and forth affair that takes it down to the wire.
Yeah, I want to switch over to court 4 again and give Caroline and Natalie some love, but I want to see the end of what I want to see what's going on. I want to see the end of this match here in the 3rd set. That shot goes wide, a couple of points for Plainfield Central.
There was a fault beforehand for West, and then out of bounds will give that Plainfield Central, as you mentioned, the serve.
That shot's in. That's 3 straight points.
They found the alley on that one.
Yes, they did.
I am starting to see a couple of those plastic pieces, as you mentioned,
bits and pieces.
The courts. Yeah.
Yep, bits and pieces on the court for sure.
West will win that one and prepare to serve.
You hear them, they're asking each other how many points. It's like you're playing a game in your backyard, right? It's like you're playing basketball against somebody, and it's like, all right, it's 12-8 me.
Make sure we got the right number before we serve. It's another thing, too, is I believe in badminton, you're always supposed to say the score. And who's
which would make sense.
Who.
That would make sense. That's what you do in like pickup basketball, right? 12-8, check the ball or whatever. It's same thing.
As there's a drive. I don't believe that landed inbounds, though.
Yeah, I don't think it did. Looks like Plainfield Central. That's 4 or 5 points in a row for Plainfield Central here.
Past that baseline in the back. There's a drive.
Ooh, that's right on the line.
Yeah, I think that's going to... Oh, no, that went to the Wildcats, as you mentioned. West finally getting a point.
West getting a point, and it looks like the Blackhawks are going to take this one. So we'll get the official score, but since West picked up that last point, we're going to assume that they won. So that's 4 for 4 for West. So let's head on over to court 4 now, Mike, and take a look and see what's going on over here with Caroline and Ava against DeShazer and Radiker. There's a point right off the bat for West Aurora. We're bringing them good luck.
I guess so. The Wildcats had a really nice couple of points in a row, nice rallies in that court 2 battle, but it was that last final point that West won that was the end-all for that 3-set matchup right there. So we'll see how this final doubles contest wraps up as it's in its first set, just starting out.
It's in its first set. So again, court 2 will be, if there are 2 singles players who are not in this doubles match, they'll hop onto court 2 and they'll start there, and we'll get those matchups for you as they're brought to us.
Both sides confirming the points before the flick of the serve.
Did that go under the net? Did that go over the net or under the net?
I believe that went so.
That went under the net.
That went under.
Yeah. It's hard to tell from this angle a little bit with how fast it's moving when it first comes off the racket.
And the good sportsmanship actually kind of threw me off a little bit. They were celebrating as if they had won the point on the West side.
Right.
And it was actually a wildcat point there. But West wins the serve now.
All right, Mike, let's hop over to court 1.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at Abby Whitlock taking on Delilah Cantillo over here.
Now this singles match has been going on for quite a moment now, quite a bit.
First singles matches are underway.
Of course, these are going to be a little bit tougher because you don't get to use the alleys. It's like singles in tennis. So placement is everything. Then again, you don't have a second player out there to cover that extra area.
Yeah, so you won't see as many long rallies. There's a point for West. And we're going to have some more scores here.
That'll be another West point. That might be the end of the set right there. So we will be getting some scores in just a moment to update you. And as the matchup on the first court wraps up, we will be getting that one as well. It looks as though the set on the second court is finished as well.
All right, so
and the third court.
Official finals on the 4. We already gave you the 3 final scores on the doubles matches. That match on set 2, on court 2, Julia Carnegie and Ava Obrochta, 21-12, 21-23, and the final set was 21-15 in favor of West. So Blackhawks did take all 3 or all 4 of the doubles matches here so far. Did you see what happened over here on court 4 by chance?
I did not. We were panned over to the singles courts, but it looks as though West took this one. I'm not sure.
The singles match? Did they take the singles match over here? Did you see that?
Which one?
On court 1.
On court 1, that was
because they were on. That was West because they were on the other side when I was starting to get our pictures. So
that was West as well.
Okay, so West having a pretty good run of things here so far. So we've got court 3 now, right? Court 3 is. That's Hannah Patel, and she is facing. She is facing Sydney Jackson right here on court 3. And there's going to be a point for West. Still referred to as an ace.
Yes.
There we go. Another point for West. So we're potentially one set away from all of the doubles matches being complete, and so far, almost, I'd say, utter dominance here by West Aurora here in the early going. 4 for 4 in doubles matches. They're up 1-0 in the final doubles match. They're up 1-0 in the one singles match that has started so far. So far, so good if you are a fan of West Aurora athletics. Panning over to court 2 because we got a new match that started off on court 2. That is Michelle Gijon Silva on court 2, and she will be facing. We got long lists. That looks like Adriana Shambari on court 2. So we'll take a watch of this match for a minute. I was always an underhand server in tennis. I could never serve overhand.
You read my mind. I was just about to say you're seeing a lot more underhanded serves in the single matches rather than the flicks that you saw in those doubles matches. I think with the individuals standing a little bit further back in those serving boxes, decide to have a little bit more powerful of a shot. And we saw a powerful shot from West there just a couple rallies ago where it was a nice kill shot there. I
was always an underhand server guy. I could never serve it overhand. There's another point for West. Gijan Silva, a couple of quick points as we switch over to her court here. Ooh, she put that one long. Let's hop over to court. Yeah, we're on court 1. Let's go to court 1. This is Tellez again. No, excuse me. This isn't Tellez. This is Abby Whitlock on court 1 against Delilah Cantillo. She's up 1-0 already and picks up a quick point here. Gets her opponent moving backwards and then just drops the shot right over the front of the net.
Another point for West there, as Abby Whitlock picks that one up.
Whitlock was on the 3rd doubles team with Denise Tellez, and that was a 21-14, 21-10 win for Tellez and Whitlock. So Abby looking to be a dual winner here today in both doubles and singles. That shot couldn't see from my angle if it went in. I think it was long.
Yeah, Cantillo let that one drop. She's let a couple of them drop and has won the serve in result of those. Another underhanded serve there as they get that rally started, but that one hits the net.
Yep, into the net, so another point for the Blackhawks. And there's a shot that goes wide. Abby having a pretty good run of it here in the doubles matches first, and now here in the singles. She's already up 1-0, and she's just racking up the points. She's got a dinner reservation. She's trying to get these matches done and over with so she can get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard shot. That's a good rally. We haven't seen many rallies like this, and that's a pretty shot from Abby just over the front of the net. She picks up another point.
Whitlock does a really nice job of pairing a couple of really hard shots with followed up by a light one. So kind of like a pitcher changing from a fastball to a changeup to kind of catch the opponent off guard. And it's been tough for Cantillo to really catch up in this one.
Well, it's very similar. I mean, again, we obviously talk about the similarities to tennis, but getting your opponent moving, moving. Maybe not so much in tennis, you want them moving left or right. And in this, it's more if you can get them moving front to back.
Yes.
If you can get your opponent moving back, and then you're able to just drop something over the front of the net. So it's not so much east to west like it is in tennis where, you really want to get them moving from one side of the court to the other. Here it's more getting them moving more towards the back line and then being able to drop something over the front of the net. And she's done a nice job of that here in this. You see it again right there. Cantillo was able to get to that one, but that was a nice serve that pushed Cantillo to the back line, and then she tried to drop it over the front of the net. So let's take a break and let's head over to court number 4. Let's watch a little bit more doubles action here, and it does look like we have a finished game on court 3, which we'll get scores for here when we can. That's Hannah Patel. But on court 4 now is Caroline Escobedo and Natalie Jarrell, and
they're just finishing up too.
I think we may have just seen another West Aurora victory.
I think so.
See, I don't think. Let's see where the Plainfield Central players go. I think we have a clean sweep in the doubles matches here for West as Escobedo and Jarrell, I think, win in straight sets. So impressive performance from the Blackhawks here so far today. All right, let's head over to court 2 now, since that's the only match going on, because I believe Abby Whitlock just won her match over on court 1 as that's over. So we've only got one match going on right now. This is Michelle Gijan Silva against, get the name again, Shembari, against Adriana Shembari. So we should see 3 singles matches starting here in short time. This is the only match going right now, and there's a point for West. Michelle, again, using that front to back and just dropping the ball over the front of the net.
You will see the end of the alleyways with that final doubles match completed. As those are no longer going to be used single matches, as we mentioned, just these 3 boxes. The one that's the forefront near the net, and the 2 that you serve from. So courts shrink and go down to single matches. That term alley may come from the original history of badminton.
I love the history lesson. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
And bear with me. It was the Dukes of Beaufort in Gloucestershire, England. Am I reading that?
Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire.
Being from New England, and there is a Gloucester in New England.
Is there?
Yes, it's not Gloucestershire, it's just Gloucester, but yes, that's Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire. I should know this. I have some English blood in me. But they invented the sport in 1873.
It feels like an English sport.
Yeah, definitely. It was played in their front yard, as you mentioned before. It's just kind of a backyard for fun sport that teaches you a lot about competition and gets you moving. And
so we may have been wrong down here on court 4 as Escobedo and Jarrell are back out there. So we might be looking at set 3 going on over here. It's one of the issues with not having live scoring is we make assumptions, and that assumption is not accurate. So it looks like we're going to a 3rd set over here. And I will say that on court 2, Michelle Guijon Silva looks like she won her first set. They're into set 2 over there. But over on court 4, that final doubles match is still going on. There's a point for the Blackhawks. Another point for the Blackhawks is that shots into the net.
Both Blackhawk players looking back up into the stands. I think they were kind of having a conversation with the fans over here. I'm not sure if that's friends or family, but
yeah, we got people lined up on both sides of us from both teams. There's no kind of home and road. Everyone's just sort of sitting wherever.
Maybe some words of encouragement or even some banter going back and forth.
I love banter. Banter's needed for all sports at all levels, I think. There's a point, I believe, for Plainfield Central. Indeed, it is. So, yeah, we've got a couple more singles matches getting started. We'll get you those matchups here, I believe, in just a second, as we're just waiting on the Blackhawks badminton coach. Waiting on Steve Wallace to come over here, and I see Steve on his way over. So we're going to get another photo, and we're going to get some more information for you.
Some score updates as we pan over to court 3. Take a look at this singles matchup. As that is out to the side. Here's our scores.
All right, so score updates. So we've given you all the doubles scores. So Escobedo and Jarrell won set 1, 21-13. We don't have the score for the second set yet, but they won set 1, 21-13. Singles matches, Abby Whitlock dominating fashion, 21-7, 21-8.
Wow.
In straight sets there. And then Hannah Patel also in straight sets, 21-14, 21-9. So West is a clean 6 for 6 so far here this afternoon. And we've got a couple of new matches getting started. You're looking at court 1, which is Julia Knigge for West. And she is facing off against, scroll through all my photos here. She is facing off against Batusov on court 1. And then the other match that got started was over here on court 3. This is Bella Diaz for the Blackhawks against Riley Listerman. So we've still got one doubles match going on and 3 singles matches. So I don't know, I think this is still kind of warm up here between Bella and Riley. I think they're ready to go. Oh, they were volleying for serve, I believe.
Oh,
which is another thing that you don't really think about, because there's no, you just volley for serve just like you would in like a friendly tennis match with a buddy or whatever. So far so good for West here, as they've won 6 of the 6 matches so far.
They just secured another point with that midline shot there, and they'll take another serve, and another miss gets them another point.
We're down on court 4 watching the doubles match here. Caroline Escobedo and Natalie Jarrell trying to finish things off. See if they're able to give West a clean 5 for 5 in the doubles matches here today at West Aurora. So Mike and I will be back in action on Thursday, weather permitting. It'll be baseball. Looking forward to that. And then next week during spring break, we've got an 11 a.m. softball game.
Yep. I believe that's next Tuesday, right?
Next
the 26th?
Tuesday. Yep. I believe you are correct. Let's watch some singles badminton. Let's go over to court 1 and watch Julia Knigge for West Aurora.
We just saw a really nice volley on court 3 as we were panning over there in that singles matchup. We'll see what's going on down on this end.
Shot wide, and again, we talk about that extra space in a singles match that's not there. If you were playing doubles, that's in, but it is not. Serve from Knigge goes long. That's a pretty shot right in that back corner.
Yeah,
it's a perfect shot right there.
I don't know if you can get much more perfect placement without just hitting the line on that.
Without walking over there and dropping it.
Yeah.
And you see both players using that strategy, trying to get their opposition moving front to back. And Julia puts. I guess that they're going to say that one landed in. I was going to say I thought that looked wide or long from here, but
I thought so too.
Julia gets the point, but you can see that strategy in these singles matches, really trying to get your opponent moving forward and backwards.
It's a hard shot that looked like it found its way through the racket.
You see that quite a bit. We just saw it down over here on court 3. It looks like they're getting a clean look at it, but then it ends up behind them. That shot into the net, another point for Julia. She won her doubles matchup in 3 sets, 21-12. Then they lost set 2, 23-21, and came back with a 21-15 win. And that's the only match, the only set that West Aurora has lost here today. They've been straight sets in every other match that they have been a part of this afternoon. So there's another point. Let's head on over court 2, because I think this match here with Michelle Gijon Silva is probably going to be over pretty soon against Shembari. She's already won set 1, and been kind of watching this out of the corner of my eye, and she's been racking up the points. And just as I say that, the shot goes over her head for a point for Plainfield Central. Adriana Shembari puts that shot into the net. And it appears as though our doubles match over on court 4 is done. As both teams are over there talking to their respective coaches. We'll get you a final as soon as we have it. Nice drop shot there by Shembari, as she had Gijon Silva moving all the way from that back line, trying to come all the way to the net.
Yeah, she made it there, but just didn't have enough room to pop that birdie right back over the net. So perfectly placed right at the net.
A couple of good points, though, for Michelle coming right back, and I think that might be it. It's 2 of them tap rackets, and Michelle won set 1, and she got that point there. I think that is the end of that one. And it looks like court 3 is also in a break. So let's head back over to court 1 since that's the only match that's going on at the moment. And that is Julia Knigge against Batusov. Looks like more success for West here in the singles matchups as well.
Batusov serves.
And that goes wide. So it'll be a point for Julia. And that was a pretty serve by Julia. Just dropped it over the front line, and Batusov not even able to react to it. So a drop shot ace, if you will. And there's another point for Julia. I believe she's the only one. She might be one of a couple of players that was on the team last year. I don't remember many of the names from the roster. I believe Julia was on the team, and Lakular La was part of the team. I remember that name. But obviously a lot of turnover at high school levels as players grow out of sports and grow into new things that they enjoy and graduate. So always turnover, of course. There's a pretty drop shot for Batusov, getting the point. .12-14, I think is what I heard her say there. There's another pretty shot that landed in. I believe I heard her say 12-14, which would make this 12, which would now make this 15-12.
I believe you're right. I was trying to listen for that as well.
There's a hard shot, as had her opponent moving from her right to her left and then shot it back to the left.
Knigge has that back corner really painted.
Mm-hmm. She's hit that a couple of times, right in that back left corner. We'll see if we get our runner with some scores here for you, as we have had a few matches end as Julia puts that one right into the net.
Got a couple of singles matches that look like they're just starting up on courts 3 and 4.
Court 3 is the Bella Diaz match, which is, I believe, in its second set now, and we'll get a runner up here at some point shortly, and we'll be able to tell you who's on court 4. But let's take a look at court 3 and watch Bella Diaz try to finish off her opponent. Off the top of the net and goes wide. Serve for Plainfield Central, and that dropped just over the top of the net. That was a pretty shot from Bella. Had some arc.
Really nice volley there, but another one of those overhand spike shots. A kill, as they would say, for West, as she picks up another point there.
Yes, she does. Bella's looks like she might be running away with this one as well. And we've got some score updates for you.
Bella Diaz just dominating this court right now with a lot of those hard overhanded shots, but even her underhanded serves are giving Plainfield a little bit of trouble. That one does land in as well.
All right, so score updates. So the doubles pairing of Caroline Escobedo and Natalie Jarrell, straight set winners 21-13, 21-13. So West played 11 double sets and won 10 of them today.
Wow.
5 for 5 there. And in their singles matchups, they're 3 for 3 so far. We talked about Abby Whitlock, the 21-7, 21-8. Hannah Patel, 21-14, 21-9. And the Michelle Gijan Silva, as we saw here on court 2, 21-13, 22-20. So West has played 17 sets so far this afternoon and has won 16 of them. So that is pretty dominating here for West. And I believe Julia Knigge also just won her match on set 1, court 1, as that one's now finished. So court 2 features Zoe Arsenault for West Aurora, and she is facing off against Ren Ferguson.
I believe this is warm-up.
Yep, I think, do we have a match? It's actually, I don't think we have a match that's actually going. Let's hop over to court 3 and watch Bella try to, well, she may have lost set 2 maybe, because I think she's talking to,
I believe she won set 2. She looked
okay, she's got her water bottle. She might be walking off the court.
Yeah.
She's talking to Steve Wallace, giving him the scores. And yeah, we've got set court 4 and court 2 both warming up. So court 2, Zoe Arsenault against Ren Ferguson. And then on court 4, we've got Megan Tierney against, that is Alexis Listerman. So Tierney and Listerman on court 4.
Court 4, I believe, is in play.
It looks like it.
That looks serves.
I say that looks a little more aggressive than just warm up here.
Yeah, a couple of really nice volleys though from these two.
It appears court 1 is still going on, so it looks like Julia may have lost set 2.
I did see a Plainfield racket in the air. I'm wondering if they're trying to
all right,
use that as a signifying I won.
I think that's signifying, coach, I need to give you the score more than anything else.
Yeah.
But court, we'll stick with court 4 here for a little bit with Megan Tierney. She was part of the 21-18, 21-12 first doubles pairing with Zoe Arsenault.
Looks like the second set on court 3 is about to begin with Diaz serving.
I'm gonna hop over and take a look at that. We can do that. Bella Diaz, and that, I think that landed right on that back line. Oh, they're going to say it was long. Okay. Actually, you know what? I don't think it was long. I think it landed on the wrong side of the court.
Yeah,
it landed on the wrong box.
That too.
Yep. It certainly wasn't long, so trying to figure out what had actually happened there.
I didn't see where it actually landed, but it had Listerman heading over to that opposite side to just pick it up.
That shot goes long. So a couple of points here for Listerman against Bella Diaz on court 3. Where are we now? We on court 2 now?
Court 2, yep.
Court 2, which is Zoe Arsenault. Puts that first shot long. Zoe is facing off against Ren Ferguson. That's a pretty shot in the back corner by Zoe. There you go, miscommunication, and we're going to get a do-over. You don't see that very often.
No. Ren Ferguson, an interesting stance in the back of the box there.
She's got the length. She's taller than a lot of the players out there, so she can cover more of the court. Another point for the Blackhawks. So we only have 3 matches that haven't started yet. We're waiting on Denise Tellez, Caroline Escobedo, and Natalie Jarrell. Those are the only 3 singles matches that have yet to get underway, and those will start as these finish up. So there's a point for Plainfield Central. Let's hop back over to court 1. Let's watch Julia Knigge here in set 3, I believe.
I believe that went out past the baseline.
Nope.
No?
Apparently not.
She'll win the serve.
She's going to get the serve here, yeah. And that shot is wide over the net, but just wide. So it'll be another point for Julia. Into the net, another point. You like looking at the box score here and just looking at all those W's up and down the score list here for West Aurora so far. 8 for 8 in finished matches.
Do you think going into a singles match, does that put a little pressure on you to kind of keep that streak intact?
Maybe. I mean, I would think you wouldn't want to be that one with the L next to your name, right? Doesn't matter what sport you're playing, you want to win.
Doubles is a little different, of course. You have a teammate out there, and you're trying to work as a team, and if you lose, you go down together. But sometimes it's all on you in these singles matches, especially to try to keep a sweep alive here for West Aurora.
That shot, I think that was long, and nope, that stayed in. So again, Julia's been putting shots in those back corners all afternoon, so not surprised that one stayed in.
We've got a tough vantage point here into that corner.
Yeah, that corner to our right we can't really see, and then the corner to our left we can't really see either.
It looks like it's long, but the court extends a little bit more, and she must be still painting that corner like we saw when they were on the opposite sides.
It does look like we have a finished set on court 4 with Megan Tierney already. Not sure who won there, but we'll get those scores updated as we can. Serve long. Let's head over to court 3. Let's watch some Bella Diaz. Serve for Bella. You can just see that one coming from the start.
Yeah, a really high shot. That just set it up perfectly for her to take that spike.
She took a couple steps towards the net, and you could just see that one was coming straight down. There's another one. That if that had made it over the net, that would have been an easy point for Bella. She's doing a really nice job keeping her opponent pinned on that back line. Another point for Diaz. She won the first set, so she's looking for the victory here on court 3. That shot is wide.
Into the alley.
Yep, just wide. Another point for Diaz. So Bella, get her on camera, and she starts raking in the points. And that serve goes into the wrong box and a little long. Serve here for Plainfield Central. There's a nice drop shot. That was beautifully done by Diaz. She was on that back line, forced her opponent in, and then just put the shot past her.
Yeah, and this set number 2 must be wrapping up soon with the pace at which Diaz is racking up points here.
Yeah, you would think so. Another nice drop shot from Bella Diaz, and she puts that one long. You can head over to court 4 now if you'd like. That'll be Tierney for West Aurora.
They were spectating this third court for a minute between their set. Now they're all ready to begin again.
It's Alexis Listerman on the far side for Plainfield Central against Megan Tierney. That'll be a point for Plainfield Central. That's a pretty drop shot right there from Tierney to pick the point back up and regain serve. That shot is wide. So another point for Megan. Tries the backhand, comes up short. Let's switch over to court 1 again, where we've got Julia Knigge against Batusov in what we believe is the third set. Julia missed it, but it hit her, so counts as a shot in play. And that's kind of where you get thrown, right? I mean, your reaction is to the speed of the racket, and then that hand-eye coordination is tough. That birdie comes down at you a whole lot slower than you anticipate it's going to.
Yeah, we've We've seen a couple of instances today where they've missed, but it was okay because it was going out anyways.
Right.
But when it's coming at you, it's a little bit tougher because if you miss with the racket, whether it's going out or not, it may still
hit you.
And then that's your opponent's point, especially in a singles match here.
A couple of nice drop shots from Julia here to get 2 quick points. And that's a nice shot just over the net.
Both sides looking a little tired here. As you mentioned, they're in their 3rd set here.
They're in their 3rd set, and they're also in their 2nd match, given that they've also played, they played their doubles matches earlier. A lot of running around. We started, what, about an hour and 10, 15 minutes ago?
Just about that, yeah.
There's in that corner again, yep. In that corner again.
You mentioned getting your opponent to move back and forth. That one, she actually had her moving laterally like in tennis.
Yep.
So another nice strategy used there.
Drop shot from Julia, and then right back the other way. Nicely defended by Plainfield Central. I think we're done on court 3. We got a break on court 2, so I think we might be going to set 3 on court 2, and I believe we are done on court 3, and I think we're done on court 1. I believe that is a Julia Knigge win. We'll get confirmation on that here shortly, but let's hop on over to court 4 since it's the only one going at the moment, where we've got Megan Tierney.
Tierney set to serve. Listerman with the response. She doesn't have to do it there as that one lands in the alley.
Yep, just puts her feet right on the line, and it's like a football player trying to field a punt. You know, you put your heels on the 10-yard line, and if it goes over your head, just let it go, right?
Yep.
You put your feet right on that sideline, and if it's going to go wide, let it go. Tierney, bit of a miss hit there, so it'll be another point for Plainfield Central. Tierney from her back line forces the shot into the net. She'll pick up the point. So we only have 3 matches that haven't started yet. We've got 2 open courts right now, so those will start here shortly. And there's an easy point for Tierney. Finds nothing but open court on that left side.
That one's wide from Plainfield, so Tierney another point. She'll continue to serve here.
I couldn't quite see it from my angle, but you had the better view of it from your vantage point. And there's a nice drop shot from Tierney. It's 3 or 4 points in a row here for Megan.
Really well played.
No, that one hit the line. Okay.
Wow, okay. I thought that was in the alley.
Yeah,
I was
me
going to
too.
congratulate Plainfield there, as Listerman, I thought, let that one drop outside of the designated area.
And there's a shot from Listerman that lands in, gets her a point.
Listerman now with a strong response. We saw a couple of points in a row for Tierney, and now Listerman taking the last few serves, as they must be pretty close in points here.
Tierney, I think, took the first set pretty handily, I believe. That shot goes long. So Listerman has picked up 3 or 4 points on her own here. That ends up on, I believe, ends up on the wrong side. It'll be a point for West. And again, getting that opposition moving all the way to the back line and then just dropping it over the front of the net. There's another point for Megan.
We've got a new matchup just starting over here on
court 3. And then we also have one starting on court 1. We'll get those matchups once Steve brings them up to us. So we got on court 4, Megan Tierney. On court 2 is still Zoe Arsenault. Let's switch over to this one and watch Zoe take on Ren Ferguson here in their second set. The other two are still in their warm-up phase. Actually, I believe
3 has started.
I was going to say 3, I think, probably started.
We just don't have names yet.
Well, we're getting them. I believe Steve is on his way up here to give us that information. And these coaches move as much as the players do.
Yeah.
I've been watching Steve throughout this through the match, and he's constantly moving.
4 courts and up to respond.
That's right.
To all of our questions.
That is
as
right.
far as scores and names go. Ferguson. Nice volleys here. Gets the point for Plainfield. Zoe Arsenault.
All right, so updated scores for you. So we've talked about some of the finished matches. Hannah Patel, 21-14, 21-9. Abby Whitlock, 21-7, 21-8. We have 3 other finals. Julia Carnegie won 21-13 and 21-16 in straight sets. Bella Diaz, 21-10, 21-12 in straight sets. Michelle Gijan Silva, 21-13, 21-20 in straight sets. And then the matches on courts 2 and 4. Zoe Arsenault here on court 2 took set 1, 21-16. And over on court 1, we talked about how quickly that one ended. That was a 21-4 victory for Megan Tierney over on court number 4. Yeah. So, and now starting on court 1, this is Caroline Escobedo, and she is facing off against Arlena Lopez. And then over on court 3, that's Natalie Jarrell. And she is facing off against Willa Wu. So those are the 4 that are still going on. Only Denise Telez is waiting to play, and she'll jump on either court 2 or court 4, depending on which one of those ends first. So West is now 10 for 10. 10
impressive.
10 for 10, and they've lost 1 set so far in those 10 matches.
They came to play this afternoon.
They certainly did. They had their badminton shoes on today. What are we looking at now? Which court? We're at court 3. We are on court 3, which is Natalie Jarrell. Natalie was part of the 21-13, 21-13. That was the 5th pairing, the 5th doubles pairing, which we had on court 4. That was the final doubles match. So she gets her breather. Her partner was Caroline Escobedo, who's now on court 2. Or excuse me, court 1. She's on court 1. They were in that 5th doubles pairing, so they got their breather, and now they're back out there. There's a point for Natalie. You know, and the other reason I like doing this, not just because I like sports in general, but you think about some of these teams that don't get the ability to kind of scout themselves, right? The team can use these broadcasts to kind of help make themselves better.
Yeah,
you know, and I hope they use these broadcasts to kind of go back and look at what they do well and what they can work on. And you know, it's part of the fun for me is to be able to give some of these players an opportunity to go back and look at what they did and critique themselves and try to get better, you know, just from watching film, because that's part of it, right? Got to watch film.
Studying the tape in any sport is probably one of the most important things you can do off the court or the field or the rink that really will improve your game other than actual practice and physical activity.
Yep. So let's hop over to court 1. We haven't shown Caroline Escobedo much. We'll give her an opportunity here, and it's the first time we've seen that, a miss on a serve. So it'll be a point for Caroline. Another point. West looking good today.
That's served into the wrong box, so Plainfield will get the serve on this one. But that one goes out.
Yep, wide.
Trading points on court 1.
Unforced turnovers is what you would refer to those as, right? Those services that go long or go wide.
Definitely.
But you're right, they are trading points here for sure.
We mentioned earlier, definitely a couple of broken birdies on the sides of the courts here. You can see a couple of them with chunks taken out of the back ends of them.
Yeah, definitely have to get a large broom around here towards the end to pick up all the plastic. They get beat up pretty heavily, and I think we're done over here on court 4 with Megan Tierney. She won that first set 21-4, and it looks like they're done over here. So we'll wait to get the score there, but I believe that'll be Denise Telez over on court 4. We'll get her started, and she'll be facing off against Jennifer Osaguera. That's the final match to get started.
We had some smiles walking off for Plainfield, so I'm wondering if we have our first Plainfield victory of the day.
It's a fun game.
But then again, yes,
I think it's just a fun game, to be honest with you. And here comes Denise making her way over to court 4. We'll let them get warm. Let's switch over to court 2. Get Zoe Arsenault, who's looking to win in straight sets here over Ren Ferguson.
And despite that, this matchup has been going on for a while here on this court 2. So interested to see who pulls away with the win in this one.
Ooh, nice shot. That's a good rally. And a nice kill there for Arsenault. I think we're done. I think that is it.
Just as I spoke.
Yeah, but that was a nice volley to finish and a nice kill by Arsenault, and I think we got another victory for West. So we've got court 3 is in a break, so I think we're in between sets there with Natalie Jarrell. So let's hop over to court 1 because court 4 is still in warm-ups. So we're down to our final 3 matches here. West in dominating performance so far here this afternoon has only lost 1 set. They've won every match so far today. That shot goes wide. I'm trying to look at the designs on some of their rackets. Like I just saw Zoe Arsenault come off of court 2, and it looked like she had a West Aurora inspired racket. It was all red and blue, which was kind of neat. I would think you could get them custom made, right? Like if you're really into it, like if it's if this is like a passion and this is something you want to pursue, like get a custom made racket, right?
Yeah, I mean you could probably find one even in stores with your colors, but even to have the face of your racket, have your team's insignia on it, I'm sure isn't too hard. Maybe break out the spray paint. I'm not advising that, but
well, like I mean, you look at some of the rackets and some of the strings are black. Like down here in front of us on court 3,
right.
Natalie Jarrell has got black strings on hers, but on the other side, her opponent's got white strings, and then down on court 4, there's like a logo on the face of the racket.
I'm not sure if these are school-provided rackets for badminton. I would imagine some of these players have their own.
I would imagine you probably provide it. You know, no different than baseball. Like they're not going to give you a bat, or you know, I would think you would have to provide your own. So we're over on court 1 here. Final 3 matches of the afternoon. Now into the evening here at West Aurora. This is Caroline Escobedo.
And they're just wrapping up on court 1. That looks like it's the end of the set, and we'll see if we have a winner there. They look like they're switching sides, though.
They switched sides, so I think that was set 1, and I think that went to West Aurora. So let's hop over to court 3 now, and we'll get Natalie Jarrell and watch her in set number 2.
Ooh, to serve now.
There's a pretty shot down the line by Jarrell, and that's talking about picking the corner, right? You and I are both hockey guys. That's the equivalent of picking top corner right there with that shot.
Absolutely. Or you talk about the baseball games and softball games that we're about to do here for West Aurora. I mean, that's like putting one right on the foul line.
Right on the foul line, or right on the black if you're a pitcher.
Yeah,
right on the black of the plate.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Ooh, Natalie had that whole left side of the court open, but just put it into the net rather than over it. Be a point for Plainfield Central. Their serve into the net. I assume we'll get some score updates here at some point in the near future. Just waiting on Steven. I can't actually see him for the first time. Oh, there he is right in front of us. That's why I couldn't see him. He wasn't moving. Serve here for the Blackhawks. Drop shots and then back to the back line, and there you go. Stayed in. Talk about, again, picking corners from Natalie Jarrell here.
She'll continue serving here. She gets another point.
I think that first set went pretty quickly between these two. I don't know what the score is, but we've just seen 5 or 6 straight points from Natalie, so I have a feeling this match is going to move pretty quickly as well. There's another point for Natalie. We're down to the final 3 matches here in broadcast 1 of, we're hoping to get in between March and April, hoping to get in 15 to 20 West Aurora spring broadcasts, weather permitting. Obviously baseball and softball are the ones that are going to be affected by that weather the most. I know we have a couple of badminton matches on the books here for the first couple of weeks. We're going to try to get some soccer in as well, try to get some girls soccer in as well, and then baseball and softball when we can.
Did you say you had volleyball too as well?
Yeah, we've got some boys volleyball as well. We try to get every sport involved here when we do the spring sports. Any place where it's practical. I think the only sport that we can't do is track and field.
That's a little bit tougher.
Yeah, so we try to get all the other sports involved, and again, to give some of these other sports some visibility, and some of these kids some visibility that maybe they wouldn't otherwise get.
Yeah, with track and field, you don't exactly have. You can have the names in front of you, but you might not have times or which different event to be looking at. Like we are here today, we've been panning across all 4 courts. We have JV in the background, but this is mostly the varsity matches that we're taking a look at. But I imagine for track and field, you got a lot going on.
You got a lot going on at once, and it's over a much wider area.
Right.
Rather than just having the 4 courts right in front of us. So we try to get in everything we can. And then, so we've got badminton, volleyball, baseball, softball, soccer is pretty much what the next about 6 to 8 weeks will look like until school season ends, till school ends, which I can't believe is coming up.
Right.
A couple of months. Head over to court 4. We haven't watched much of what's going on court 4. This is Denise Telez. And I think court 3 just ended. I do believe Natalie Jarrell just won her match in straight sets.
Yeah, that looks about right there.
We'll get the scores here. And we'll switch over to court 4 and give Denise some airtime. She picks up a point. And we will try to hang out after all of the matches are over to make sure we have the final scores. So once that final match is done, we'll run down, try to grab Steve and get that final score, and we'll polish things off. Only 2 matches left. West has been perfect so far here today.
Really nice save there from Plainfield, but set it up for a really hard kill.
Yeah. Telez put it into the body of her opponent there and kind of put her hand over her mouth as to say, oops, didn't mean to do that. But sometimes that's what you got to do. Hitting it right at the person sometimes is the best strategy.
Yeah.
They can't get out of the way and they can't get their racket down in the right angle to return it.
Luckily, it won't leave as much of a mark as in some other sports.
Yeah, getting hit with a birdie doesn't hurt quite as much as getting hit with a tennis ball or a baseball or a volleyball. And there's another point for Denise. So she's picked up 3 or 4 quick points since we switched over to court 1, or court 4 rather. Let's head over to court 1 with Caroline Escobedo, because I think this one's going to be over here relatively soon as well, and I want to make sure we get the end of it. There's another point for Caroline. There's a nice drop shot from Plainfield Central, gives them a point.
From our vantage point, that almost didn't look like it made it over the net, but just barely over that top line.
Yeah, depth perception is an issue when you're dealing with the net with the holes in it and the birdie moving at varying speeds. I heard 2011, so this could be match point right here for Caroline. We'll see what happens. In the back corner, so that'll be a point for Plainfield Central.
I believe if you're correct on the score, that means they stay alive.
Yep.
Served to the wrong box.
And no, I guess we weren't right on the score. We'll just keep an eye on this match until it ends. And there's a pretty drop shot, and there's another point for West. Unless 20 was down on Plainfield Central side. No, because then that point would have won it. So I don't know.
Right.
Not sure. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. And we're in between sets down on court 4 as well. So we'll just stick with court 1 here for the time being.
One into the net from West Aurora, so another point for Plainfield.
Trying to battle here, trying to battle from what we believe is behind. Another shot into the net.
A couple really high clears that are resulting in what West Aurora is thinking is going to be a kill shot, but instead hitting the net.
Another shot that goes wide. So Plainfield Central racking up the points here in rapid succession.
And that should be the end of it.
That should be the end of it, as that was a point for West. So I believe we're down to the final match here on court 1, and I think West Aurora has a clean sweep so far of the first 14 matches.
Wait for court 4 to begin once more.
The only match that's left, this is Denise Telez and Jennifer Osaguera. Osaguera and Telez. They've got the whole crowd watching them. There's nothing else going on.
Osaguera getting the point on that one. She'll serve.
That
out of bounds.
No, was it?
I believe so.
Yep, just out of bounds. I wasn't sure if the arm in the air meant it was in or out, and as we're seeing, that arm in the air means it's out.
Into the alleys. High clear there. Oh, and just missed. Plainfield will pick up another point there.
There's another point for Plainfield Central, so Osaguera has picked up a handful of points here in the last couple of services.
Now we're waiting on scores, but considering the fact that West has won every other match thus far, we've seen a lot of points from Plainfield in this set.
Not that one, though, as that lands out of bounds.
Could this be their saving grace here?
Maybe. Match 15. They're looking for that one. There's a nice shot on the backhand, straight down. Good angle on that racket.
Really well played. Had to jump for that one, but like we said earlier, that's getting above, so you can get it above that 45-degree angle.
That one was a little bit more of a 45-degree angle, but over the top, so it went down at that angle. Nice save there by Tellez, and that shot is short of the net. Had her opponent coming in and put the shot over her head.
Some really nice rallies back and forth here.
And that serve will go wide. There's a nice shot from Oseguera, giving her the point. And that one's wide as well.
Oseguera will serve again, this time from the left-handed box. That's to our right.
Nice save there by Tellez. Good rally, but that one is long.
Well wide.
A point for Denise.
West will win the serve again to the left.
Here's a nice save by Tellez. She's able to get her opponent moving backwards, and exactly what you're supposed to do, that hammer right into the body.
A very nice rally right there. Both sides staying in that one.
And I think that was in. That looked like it was in. Yep, nice shot by Oseguera. Into the racket of Tellez. Very back and forth set here between these two. Not really sure who's winning at this point. Serve ends up
wrong box.
Yeah, wrong box. Yep. Into the top of the net. Another point for Denise. That serve just long. Oh, I guess it wasn't. She can give her the point. Looked like that went.
Yeah, I thought that was in that back alley box right over there.
Here's a nice rally and a hard finish from Tellez.
Looked like 7 hits right there. So yeah, these two have been going back and forth quite a bit here.
That shot into the net. Nice run here for Denise Tellez as she looks to finish off the clean sweep for West Aurora. They've won 14 out of 15 matches so far, and she misses there. Long shot towards the back, and the rebound comes up just shy of the net.
Oseguera was trying to feather that just over the net, but didn't quite make it.
Didn't have enough on it. Oseguera back along that back line again, and Tellez, oh, nice shot by Oseguera. Felt like Tellez kind of had her moving there again on that back line, but did a nice job of picking up the point. That serve went under the net. That's no good. Another shot into the net.
6 hits on that volley. So these two really going back and forth when they do get a chance to keep it up there.
And that's a pretty shot right there from Tellez, just up over the net. Nothing Oseguera could do about that one at all. Another shot into the net, and you got to feel like this is coming to an end here soon, because Denise has picked up about 12 points since we've started watching exclusively this match.
Funny enough, I have not heard the score. Oh, well, yep, there's the end right there.
There's the end right there, and I do believe this is a clean 15 for 15 sweep for West Aurora. We'll give it a minute here just to see if Steve makes his way up, but we know West won 11 of their first 11, and we're just waiting on the scores for the finals. And he's actually going to have her bring him up to us. I just saw him point up to us. So he's actually going to have Denise run the scores up to us. So we'll get those scores and then we'll call it.
She definitely won that last one.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll wait on the other 3, as you said, 11 of 15. That would have been the 15th of 15.
I think they only lost one set all afternoon as well.
That's really impressive and really dominant. They came to play today.
Only that one set in that doubles match. Other than that, a clean sweep here for the Blackhawks. We're going to get the final scores here in just a second as soon as Denise makes her way over to us, and she's a handful of steps from us, getting some congratulations from people.
The rest of her teammates just hanging out on the side, waiting for the final scores here, which we will give to you in just a moment.
All right, here we go. So on court, so Denise Tellez won 21-13, 21-11. Abby Whitlock 21-7, 21-8. Zoe Arsenault won 16 and 13. Megan Tierney won 21-4 and 24-22. Julia Knigge won 13 and 16. Bella Diaz won 10 and 12. Michelle Gijon Silva 21-13, 22-20. Escobedo won 14 and 13. Jarrell won 4 and 8. Wow. And Hannah Patel won 14 and 9. The doubles matchup, Zoe Arsenault, Megan Tierney won 18 and 12. Julia Knigge and Eva Obruchta were the only ones who lost a set. They won 21-12, lost 23-21, and then won 21-15. Denise Tellez and Abby Whitlock won 14 and 10. Makular La and Hannah Patel won 11 and 11, and Escobedo and Jarrell won 13 and 13. That is 15 wins, no losses for West Aurora today. Only one set loss all afternoon. That was impressive. So how was your not only your first experience doing badminton, but your first experience here at West Aurora?
Exciting. It moves fast. It is a nice environment. I'm glad that we have sportsmanship on both sides here and reporting the scores pretty accurately. And
appreciate
I think everybody, even Plainfield, had a good outing here today, despite the entire sweep. I saw a lot of smiles on faces, and it was just a great way to spend the Monday afternoon.
And appreciate Steve Wallace and his players working with us to get us the scores. But that's going to do it here from West Aurora here this afternoon. A clean sweep for the Blackhawks, 15 for 15 in badminton. Until we talk to you again, have a great rest of your weekend or a great rest of your week, everybody. Take care.